I was in the dark against it all, but made it through the day, 'cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way. 'Cause I found my way.
And hi, it's Divinity Dave. I'm just gonna say Dave from now on because duh. But part of why I'm doing this, I want this brand or this channel to be devoted to helping people evolve spiritually. Explore the spiritual side to themselves. Their intuitive nature. And a big part of my growth as an individual, as a human, has been because of this person here. This is my sister Sarah. And I kind of want to just introduce her. We want to start a project together that we've been kind of sitting on, mulling over for a few months.
Yeah.
I'm creating Divinity Dave to help people get in touch with their intuition, but also their spiritual side. And a big part of my experience and growth, one of my biggest sounding boards has been my sister. We joke that we are a yin and yang because we're very opposite,
Yes,
right? And
100%.
how so would you say?
Looks, first of all, you can tell. Okay, wait a minute. Our mom makes beautiful babies.
Obviously, but
So we're both beautiful. But he's tall,
short,
blonde, blue-eyed,
yeah,
brunette, brown eyes.
yep.
Very
Obvious
much the
gender, and then but our personalities,
our
like
complete opposites.
Yeah.
He's a Gemini. I am a Leo.
Which feed each other well.
We do.
But-
But then you get that moon sign energy and the rising, and we are complete opposites as emotional human beings walking this plane.
Yeah, I'm very cerebral and I like to analyze things and turn it over, and I'm light and effervescent. And then
I'm all feels. I want to feel it, and I want to get into the muddy water with you and understand it and analyze it, but in a very different way. I want to know why you're feeling what you're feeling.
And sit in it. And that's the big thing. Like, you want to
love
sit.
to feel the feels.
Yeah. So what I want to do with this, a big part of my mission is to speak with other people, to get people involved in the sense of telling us their journey, what they've experienced, how they've come to find their way in the spiritual life, that they built for themselves. And like I was saying, my sister has been one of my greatest inspirations. One of my just like, I love you. What? No, like just wise teacher, a sage. I couldn't have gone through this journey and got to where I am today without our relationship. I know you talk about soulmates. Like, this is one of my soulmates.
We
like,
definitely chose to do life together.
Yeah, we came together for a reason.
Yes.
And a lot of that is because I think we choose our parents. And so this project that we want to do, we're going to call
Trauma Twins.
Because opposites, but also we've been through some shit. We've been through a lot. And
we have.
But I'm really...
And we both experienced it in very different ways.
Fascinating.
So I think that also kind of parallels to the yin and yang of us, is we have experienced the trauma together and got ourselves through it, but we've also done it in very different ways.
Yeah. What's the saying? Like, each child has a different set of parents.
Yes, 100%.
Because of how they respond to you.
Yeah.
Conditioning,
each
societal.
Each person is different and unique and has their own unique take on everything. So, yeah.
So, having come from the same household and going through very similar experiences with our parents, and experiencing our traumas.
And even in life, we very much have mirrored
our stages of life too.
Yeah, we've been on the same kind of paths. We've been in the same types of relationships and the same types of trials and tribulations and traumas throughout adulthood. We mirror each other very much.
So when we get to now that we're in a space and we can examine this stuff and we can dive into these things and do the healing work, the shadow work, it is even more poignant and powerful because you have that extra set of lens, and I just feel so fortunate. So we are fun.
We think we're fun.
No, we are fun.
We are fun.
However,
we're really fun.
let's talk about the trauma twins, why we want to call it that. I know the name sounds heavy, but
it does sound heavy, right? But I think that there is power in taking back ownership over your trauma.
Yeah.
Everybody has trauma. It can be as simple as your parents were really hard on you to you are a rape victim.
Yeah.
Trauma comes in all forms and sizes. It does not, discriminate against anyone.
And this
we all
isn't to
experience
compare,
it.
right?
We don't do
Yeah.
tit for tat with trauma.
Yeah.
Trauma is something that, it reminds me of that picture, if you've ever seen it, the meme where there's a Labrador and then there's like a little dachshund in the mud. And it's like, it's just really your perspective on how the shit is and how high it goes up. For the dachshund, it's like up to its mouth. And for the golden retriever, it's only up to like, the knees.
Because we all process different.
But yeah, trauma is what it is. And we all have a different type of trauma, but essentially they all affect us the same ways, and we all have to heal.
That's the goal of this.
Yes.
We want this to be a joyful exploration, like a safe space, to explore what trauma looks like in our day-to-day lives. How does it manifest in our relationships, and being triggered at the grocery store, to choosing the same type of romantic partner that's abusive or a narcissist or emotionally unavailable, those kind of things.
Ways you're not showing up for yourself.
Sarah was a social worker in Flint, Michigan, Detroit for how many years?
12.
So you got some experience.
I got some stories.
So I think I
got some stories.
It has lent some wisdom to you.
Yes.
And I think
and I've made poor choices. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it.
Because of our trauma.
I made really poor choices, and that's something too that we're probably gonna talk a lot about, which is gonna be a theme. Is we came from the church, so we have a lot of church trauma that we had to work through, and I dealt with a lot of that in my 20s, and I made really poor decisions, and I put myself in situations that were not safe and caused even more harm.
But it's experience now, when you have that hindsight.
It is.
If you heal it.
It makes you into who you are. But that's part of what this whole channel, I think, is going to be about with us, is kind of letting our trauma be a part of us and not let it define us, but honoring that it's an aspect of us.
And then letting a victim, not being a victim of it, but then if we incorporate it and work to heal it.
Yes, 100%. We can use that to empower us to show up as our most authentic self. Because you have to make space for the light and the dark, because the two make you who you are.
Yeah. And I always love this. I heard it enough and sick of it, but I love the phrase, the medicine's in the wound.
Yes.
But that has become such a life truth for me.
It is.
It's powerful.
100%.
The things that we avoid, the things we don't want to confront, the things we're afraid to deal with, are usually where another level of our ability to empathize or to relate or to connect, if we can not deal with but integrate it,
Everything has a lesson in it.
Yes. Our shadows
no matter
are our teachers.
how painful the situation seems right now, there's a lesson in it.
Yeah.
Somewhere you're going to find something to grow in some area. And I think that's the most important thing, is we by no means are healed completely. And I am a firm believer.
It's a lifelong.
You never heal completely. Yeah. It's a lifelong commitment and journey. But as long as you're showing up for yourself and doing work, I think that it can kind of turn into a fun thing where you're going to find we have a bit of a
irreverent,
inappropriate
sense of humor.
Because, we've been through things, and you have to laugh because
sometimes that's the only way to get through it.
Yeah.
Just the absurdity.
It's the medicine, isn't it? Laughter is the medicine.
Best
and
medicine.
So you get to a place where you can laugh, but spiritual awakenings are not for the faint of heart. They are hard work.
When you say spiritual awakening, what do you mean?
When you start your spiritual journey and you start to really look at, why am I here? What is my purpose? How do I affect the greater good?
How do I have a life?
What do I bring to this planet and to people in my life? once you start that journey, you are confronted with a lot of your shadows. And
lot.
that gets dark. People don't talk about how dark it gets.
Yeah.
It gets painful. And sometimes the only way to get through that is finding the humor in it.
Agreed. And that's, again, we want to put a lighter spin on some maybe darker
And owning it.
sides.
We're going to own our trauma.
Yeah. And again, this isn't to be victims or like, oh my God, I've been through so much, but really how these lessons and these experiences in our life have really allowed us, again, with the hindsight now,
Yeah.
become more empowered, more who we are, and understand ourselves better. So,
And it's created the people that we are today. If you took any one of the things that were traumatic that have happened to me away, I would not
You'd be a
be the
different
woman I am today.
Yeah.
So I think it's, a beautiful thing to take ownership over that.
So we think you're going to enjoy our dynamic a lot.
We enjoy it.
Yes, and love to play off, but again, comes from a sincere place of,
Yes.
I am so lucky to have
We
you.
genuinely love each other.
And even though we annoy the shit out of each other sometimes, because we're so different, it's also really, what's the word? It's really smoothed us out as adults and personality. Because
we weren't always like this.
Seasons.
We have a very different dynamic than most siblings.
Extrovert.
It can be very off-putting to some people because they don't get along with their sibling like we do. But I think there is a general love,
which blows my mind,
and respect for one another. And we both are just curious and want to learn and grow, and we feed off of each other. And we've had our moments. We've had them.
For sure.
But those have shaped us into this relationship where we're able to show up for each other in ways that nobody else can. Your sibling is your longest relationship you ever have on the planet.
Ever. And I remember when Mom said that. And it's just, again, it breaks my heart now because knowing what we have in our bond, it is not common for a lot of people. Just to have someone who knows you so intimately and seeing you at your worst, who's brought out your worst at times. I mean, it is just, it's invaluable. And it's sacred. And I am so glad I can share that. So be on the lookout soon. Under the Divinity umbrella, I'm going to have this. We're going to start our own podcast pretty soon, but we hope you can tune in and make some content and explore. So we'll see you soon.
Bye.
I found my way.